Hi, my name is Dr. Petra Swissler, and this is Resume Roast. I am a professor at the New Jersey Institute of Technology, Department of Mechanical and Industrial Engineering. So I received this resume from, I think this is their real name, Mohammed Hijazi. Remember, if you don't give me a fake name, I will just use the name you gave me. This person says that they want to apply for a master's degree in the US or find a full time job in AI. So we will look at it from both those perspectives. What I would say is that if you're applying to a master's program, that is going to have a different resume than you would with applying for a job in a given field, right? And I would recommend having two separate resumes, and we can touch on the differences there in a bit. But let's just take a look first. So we have a total of 2 pages. Overall organization, start out with this name block. You have the same phone number twice. So, right, this block is really where you make your first impression. So, make sure that you have that. The other thing to keep in mind maybe is that having hyperlinks is good for PDF resumes, which is probably what you want to do for the master's program and for the initial job stuff. But keep in mind that if you actually go to a sit down interview, they can't click any of this. So we have that. Also, just make sure that all of these are functional. Taking a look at your website. It seems like a good website. That's good. Just make sure that all of the links you have are good and representative. You want them to click on it. So, looking at this, so we have so stylistically, let's just start with stylistically, right? You have a bit of a gap here, right? But then you have very little gap between the education section and professional experience, right? So I would say that this big gap should go above professional experience, right? How you space things is essentially how you draw the eye to what you want. So having that is going to be, it's more important. And I know that it can seem silly to spend so much time on the presentation, but it is the first statement you make is the presentation of the resume. So do that. Yeah, I mean, you have these big gaps after the line and very small gaps before the line. So that's kind of a something that I would change. Um, so starting out education, yeah, if you're getting started, this is good. So Palestine Polytechnic University, Bachelor of Arts in Computer Science, GPA 3.7. So one thing to be aware of with GPAs from, well, if you're changing countries, right, you have to keep in mind that the the GPAs are going to be interpreted differently, right? Uh, and so it's going to be important to have something else here, right? If you're looking for a U.S. university, uh, I would really want to see GRE scores, right? And I'm saying this as someone who, recruits students. A 3.7 from, I guess, Palestine Polytechnic University versus a 3.7 at, MIT is going to mean very different things. And this is also true for, European systems. Like, I believe the French use a 20-point system, right? And how do you translate a 16 on a 20-point system to the 4.0 scale that you have in the US? It's apples and oranges. And so really the purpose of the GRE is to provide that level playing field internationally. So I would recommend going for the GRE if you can. Also, just be aware, I'd say, that I know that it can be very difficult to get a visa. Uh, from from Palestine. I've heard it can be very difficult. So just be aware of that. Yeah, though that person was from Gaza, and it looks like Palestine University is in West Bank. So I don't know how much that's going to affect things, but okay. Looking at this, August 2021, December 2024, high school. So if you are applying for master's degrees, right, if a professor is looking at it, they're not going to care about your high school GPA, right? And you don't list your high school GPA. I don't, if I get this, I don't care where you went to high school. I don't care how well you did. I would just eliminate all mentions of high school from this. So then we go into experience. So immediately I'm seeing a bit of a inconsistency here, right? You got capitalized stuff, not capitalized. Just make sure that these sort of things are consistent. Change to red. Okay, Foothill Solutions LLC. It would be good to put where this is, right? Is this right, it's remote, so is this somewhere in Palestine? Is this somewhere in Europe, Bangladesh? I want to know where this LLC is located. Maybe it's in the U.S. I don't know. I guess I can look it up. Foothill Solutions LLC. It says Irvine. Regardless, putting where it is going to be good. I don't think you need this period there. Applied solid pick principles, clean architecture, domain-driven design, methodologies to ensure robust and maintainable software solutions. That's a very corporate sounding statement. Yeah. Also, you have ragged edges here. So it use justified alignment. It's something I always say. RESTful APIs, ensuring best industry practices for scalability and performance. Manage Microsoft SQL Server using Entity Framework. Unit testing using XUnit. So one thing to kind of the generic advice you always get: start with the verb, right? So applied, right? That is something that I did. But then unit testing, right? It's, I would say, applied unit testing or something like that. Right, because I would consider unit testing to be almost a noun in this context. So just think about how you word these. Make sure that it is stronger. Use action verbs and just see if you can kind of clean that up a bit. Instructed. Oh, also here, TOEFL. I don't know if that's that's how it's spelled. Yeah, Florida. So yeah, that's another thing that's going to be of interest to employers and to graduate schools. Co-instructor for Linux systems. Contract. I don't know what that is there. I would capitalize Palestine. So instructed and managed. I would do 30 plus. Right. Students in a 7-day Linux boot camp. Ensured cohesive execution of the boot camp. I think these can be combined. This is probably a good thing to have because it shows, your ability to manage people. But I think combining that into one bullet point would be good. Two positions from the same thing. I'm not sure what to make of that. Developed comprehensive learning materials tailored to Linux systems, emphasizing networking protocols, Linux administration, provided mentorship for college students through weekly sessions spanning 3 months, covered a wide array. Yeah, I think this is good, right? And this can be one bullet point, and you can just have May, comma, July to January. Implemented personalized learning strategies. Yeah, so this is basically talking about your education experience. You have a hanging bullet point here. Take care of that. Projects, GitHub links, good. Yeah, so this is good. Providing GitHub links to stuff you've done. The justified alignment, right? I always say justified alignment because it does look a lot nicer. Written in C++, Python, GraphQL. I think something that, technical skills, okay. I would put the technical skills up here. I might be wrong, but I think the font size here and here are different. Make sure that you're using the same font size throughout, just having that consistency, right? You want everything to be very pleasant to look at. Technical skills, framework, entity framework, React.js, React Native. I don't know why you have those periods there. Python, C++, C#, Bash scripting, Java, networking. I'm not sure why you would have that. And if you do that, it might be possible to kind of have it in 2 columns, which would save a bit of space. I think languages might be sufficient. API development, Linux. They have a weird capitalization there. Other skills, password cracking, version control. So I think that technical skills, you could clean that up a bit. I would look at what other people have put for their technical skills and kind of mimic what successful people have done. Because the one that I'm really not sure of is Linux, like whether this is a bullet point that is common to have in CS. Also for like master's programs, it might be good to have a little statement of purpose up here, right? What are you interested in learning about? Okay, yeah. So to kind of summarize, I think overall it seems good. There's a real lack of consistency in how things are presented, and I think that more than anything, you need another pass at the overall presentation here, right? There's a lot of inconsistencies on capitalization, right? This floating bullet point, verb tense over here, right? Capitalization. So I would really give it another pass like that. You're using very narrow margins, which especially down here, right? You have very, very narrow margins. I would see if you can try to get everything down to one page. I would really try to get it down to one page, and I think you have a lot of room to do that, right? Eliminating all mention of high school, right? That saves you a few lines. Use that for the statement of purpose. Change where these spaces are, right? Combine these projects. I think this text is larger than the rest of the text, so keeping it at that smaller text should also help. And then if you can divide this down into 2 columns, that would also save a bit of space. So yeah, that is my input there. Thank you for submitting, and I hope that was helpful. If you would like me to roast your resume, there is some instructions down in the description. So thanks for watching.